Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Leeds, of course, yesterday played in a pre-season friendly against Valencia, who came to Elland Road, and Leeds saw pretty much a sellout crowd at Elland Road. Didn't get a chance to catch it at the time, but what I'm going to do is the same as what we did for the Hanover and the Schalke videos. So before we get into it, make sure you hit that big red button and enjoy as we analyse the footage and Georginio's wonder goal, Matteo Joseph's fourth goal of pre-season. Enjoy as we get into it. I know we've talked a lot about this pre-season, but in terms of pressing, look at this from the first whistle. So they kick off, and for me, the new thing this season is flying out the blocks at the start of every game, much like what we did under Bielsa. Look, Gnonto goes to press. When the ball moves across, Matteo Joseph, look at Dan James. Yeah, he gets done there, right? What he should have is Georginio backing him up a little bit, because if he does go past him, then you've got Georginio in this space to maybe close him down. Yes, there's a player here, but can you push one on? Can you go forward a little bit? Maybe even mark this option, and then Ampadu might be able to step up into this kind of area and then be able to get ahead of him. But you can see Matteo Joseph then comes in. Bogle comes forward. It's a long ball forward, and look, Leeds win the ball back straight away. It's really, really good high pressing right from the start of games, which I think we're going to do this season. I think we're going to absolutely fly out the blocks, and we're going to try to get in those defenders' faces from the off and see if we can force something, because if we can and you get an early goal, Leeds were great at holding on to Leeds last season. I'm just picking out this from Matteo Joseph because I feel like this is a part of his game that doesn't really get talked about. His centre-forward plays, his number 9 runs and his movement and stuff that you talk about, and his finishing, that's what you talk about with a striker. But Matteo Joseph, look at this, is just tracking back, wins the ball really well there, okay? Gnonto turns into trouble and the ball pops out back to Matteo Joseph. But look how well Matteo Joseph does here. He drags Leeds up the pitch and he makes a good decision and plays the ball back inside to Gnonto. It's really good play from a centre-forward. It's dragging your team up the pitch. He's taking responsibility and going, okay, yeah, I'm going to win the ball and I'm going to take us up the pitch a little bit as well and give it to a teammate. It's good decision making, good tracking back, good all round from Matteo Joseph, and I like to see it. We're just going to have a quick little look at this move here. So Valencia actually start here with a throw-in. It ends up in a really good Leeds attack. Decision making could be a little bit better, but I'd want to talk about something else with it. So ball goes long and Leeds win it back through Strauch. Here's Gruev, right? Watch Gruev. Dan James picks up the ball and comes forward with it. Gruev still making that run. Dan James obviously complains about it, but Gruev gives it back to Georginio. And look, Georginio, he could have tried to play that ball across in front of Matteo Joseph, who again is making a really good run towards the back post, or towards the penalty spot there, really, behind that defender and in front of that defender. Really good striker's run. But Gruev came from way back where, and he's come all the way forward and he's trying to get in the box to finish things. It's clearly an instruction. I think he's actually talked about in an interview saying that he's been given a bit more license to go forward. In the end, it wasn't a great ball, but just the intent from Leeds to send Gruev forward, to send him up with the striker and make those third-man runs. They obviously want that mould of player, and they're saying to Gruev, okay, well, this season we're going to allow you to do it and see if you can get on the end of things. And this pre-season he's already scored a goal, so there's a clear indication that is going to happen this season. We're going to look at this move now from start to finish. This is the Matteo Joseph goal. This is unbelievable football. So Strauch passes it to Firpo and drops short. He sees here he had an option to go back to the goalkeeper, but credit to him, being more positive, Gruev comes and picks up this position in so much space. You see Gruev scan to make sure there's nobody around him. He's got so much space. He's allowed the time and space to come forward, so he picks out a pass to Firpo. You see there, Matteo Joseph was all... if I can bloody pause it. Matteo Joseph was already making a run forward there, but now he's in the right position. He's in that blind spot of the defender. He can make that run beyond him. Firpo gets it back, and then Georginio, lovely little pass forward to him there. But Matteo Joseph's touch, just to come back inside and open up that space. Look how much space he opened up. He opened up the rest of the box just with that touch. Let's go back a little bit. I want to see that again because it's such a nice move. So Gruev comes forward with it. Just watch Matteo Joseph the whole time. Makes a run there thinking the ball's coming, but no, it's not. So look, he just backs off. He backs off. He backs off. And by the time the ball comes to him, he's just walked backwards into a position where he can't be seen by the two centre-backs. So when Georgie pokes the ball, Matteo Joseph is able to make that run in there. And he can get it. What a good touch that is, and what a good finish that is. It's really, really good football from Leeds, and it's lovely to see in pre-season. Hopefully we continue that into the season. I'd love to see Matteo Joseph starting. By the way, I think he will, because I think when you look at this team, it's probably our strongest 11, because it's the last game, the last pre-season game before the start of the season. You usually play your strongest 11, don't you? And Matteo Joseph is in it, so that's a good sign for me. A little move here I want to talk about. Georginio doing really well again. Look, Matteo Joseph goes over and wins the ball back. Really good pressing. Georginio here has found himself in this position a couple of times. The first time for Matteo Joseph's goal, but this time again, look at the positions he's picking up, right? And he's threading those balls. He wasn't necessarily doing that much last season. That's why we were saying we needed number 10. We need somebody who can break down a defence. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Valencia players there, and Georginio manages to thread a ball through to Dan James here. It's really good football. Dan James it would be soft, I think, if it was given as a penalty, but Georginio is picking up those positions on this edge of the box area and sliding eye of the needle passes into the box, which is what you want a number 10 to do and what we've been crying out for, basically. And he's kind of adding that to his game a little bit more frequently, and it's good to see, because we need to break down low blocks this season, and hopefully with him doing that, it should make it a little easier. There's been a few times this season where Leeds have been vulnerable to a ball straight over the top between the two centre-backs. Look, it happens again here. It's number 18, who I think is actually a new signing for them, maybe. Ball straight over the top. If that's a better touch, he's got a chance to shoot there. We need to stop allowing this. I know it's like comes with the territory of playing a bit higher up the pitch, but that's that ball that comes straight over the top. We'll have a little look at it again. So just watch the positions here. We're trying to play a high line, which is admirable because we're trying to play attacking football. But as his ball comes here, Matteo Joseph is closing him down. There's not much else he can do with that. Maybe try and get in front of him a little bit faster. The ball then, let's pause it again here. The ball's coming over the top. And again, we're kind of left. Strauch and Firpo are way higher up than Bogle and Rodon are. And the striker's able to run beyond Rodon. If that's a better touch, he's in for a shot there. We need to be aware of that and just be a little bit better positionally. I'm sure that's something that Daniel Farke can work on in terms of positioning and where to be and what zones to cover when a ball's going to come over the top. You can tell when somebody's shaping up. When you've played a game of football, when somebody's shaping up to send a long ball, you can tell, you can see by their body shape, by their eyes, where they're looking. You can see that they're shaping up to obviously hit the ball a lot harder than they usually would for a ground pass 5 yards away. So you can see and you have time to prepare. So if you've gone through it in training, if you know what is happening, then you've got to make a difference with it. Other teams this season will be going, okay, let's try and hit the ball over the top of them. They're not that strong. That is the only kind of weakness that I've seen this season, is teams are able to get the ball over the top of us because we're playing a high line. So we just need to be aware, and maybe against certain really quick strikers, just give him an extra yard just to try to make sure that that doesn't happen. There's been a few times in this game where we've actually put a decent delivery into the box from a free kick or a corner, and we've actually got our head on the end of things. Gruev took a couple of really bad corners before as well, by the way, just to balance this out. But this one is so much better. It's a lot deeper. It's a lot further into the box. And look, Rodon actually gets on the end of it. It's a really good save by the goalkeeper and cleared away by them. But we are starting to improve at set pieces and actually managing to get our head on the end of things in the box. The play just seems to be a little bit smoother, a little bit faster. Decision making seems to be better. Really good ball there by Georginio, and Leeds win another corner. It's really positive stuff that we're seeing from Leeds, and I'm looking forward to the start of the season now. Poor Dan James, throughout this first half an hour, 32 minutes of this game, he's had not one good pass to him down the line from Bogle or from anybody else. But finally, we get to see why he's out on that right wing, and with somebody of the passing range of Ampadu, you can see that he can pick him out. Look, a normal player might even be able to get to this ball, but look at that pass. That's his weak foot as well, his left foot, and Dan James can get to it right by the corner flag. Look at that. Great ball into Georginio. Georginio tries to get into the box and just gets tackled there at the end. But look at it stretching the play. They would have thought in this position here, look at them, okay? You've got 4 across the back line, you've got your 4 in midfield, and you've got 2 up front. They would think in that position, we're absolutely fine here. We've got nothing to worry about. We're in our good shape, and there's no way that they can get past us. But when you fast forward 15 seconds, look where we are. We're right in their corner flag. And because when you've got the pace of somebody like Dan James, and you've got the passing range of Gruev, Ampadu, Charlie Crew, Rothwell, any of those players who can pick out somebody like Dan James, it stretches the whole game. It opens things up. It forces them to have to run back towards their own goal, and it really gives Leeds a chance to get forward and get up the pitch, especially against these teams who are going to have a solid defensive structure. So that's why Dan James is there. That's why he makes those runs, and that's why we pass the ball to him. It's really, really good. Look, now we've got the Georginio goal, and we know that it's a masterpiece of individual skill, but we're going to have a little look at the play before it. This is where it started. A long ball forward here. Nonto goes to close, but when the ball gets taken down by the Valencia striker here, you've got Rodon, you've got somebody who's very blurry, and Ampadu, because I can tell by his blonde head. Oh, it's Stroud coming back, actually, and they all converge on him and close him down. Jorginho wins back that second ball, and there's no analysis to do on this because it's just individual brilliance. Look at that. The weight of the chip, the way he goes past the players, it's just chef's kiss. It's unbelievable play from Jorginho as he falls. Oh, actually, Nonto fell over there behind the goal. But he just sends that player for a hot dog, goes back past him, and then just chips it over both of them. They've got no chance of getting to that. It's perfectly weighted. Look at that. It's so good. It's so good from Georginio. I hope to see some more moments like that from him this season, because what an unbelievable finish. To just lob them over the back post, right where they couldn't get it. It's inch perfect, and the move as well. Look at his face. He's loving it. Unbelievable goal from Georginio there. Good pressing in the build-up. Good teamwork to get the ball up there. Georginio with individual masterclass there. Brilliant from him. This is not the most interesting clip in the world, but it might be for some people. This is just about our shape, really. So Nonto comes forward to press. At the moment, you've kind of got a little bit of a mid-block here. You've got pretty much everybody across the midfield waiting for that ball to come into the midfield, because if it does, then we can pounce on it, and you've got that midfield packed there. But because there's only 2 midfielders in there, Leeds don't really need to do that in this situation. So you can see Gruev and Ampadu have this player, and they can come forward and mark them if they need to. You see Jorginho and Matteo Joseph, look, they just slide forward, and you can see as it goes on, you've now got that 4 across midfield. You've got the 2 up front, and you've got those two banks of 4, and then the 2 up top. And it's just the way that we're going to structure this season looks like that. So, I mean, obviously we didn't have to do anything to win the ball back in that situation, but you had like 6 across midfield to try and pack that midfield against, let's say you're playing a Leicester last season who loved to pack the midfield and overload to try to have one more player than you every time. But Leeds could have done that, dropped those 2 strikers in, but this time the strikers can go forward and take up their normal positions in front of the defence in case they need to press, and they can pull everyone forward if they need to. But the positioning, you can see that it's fluid depending on what the game state is. This is one of Valencia's only sort of meaningful attacks of the game so far. Look, you've got Firpo and Nonto here. They shouldn't be getting beat like this. I know that Georginio does this to people all the time, but when you see both of them there, neither of them make the decision to be the one to get the ball if it goes on the inside. I think realistically, one of them's got to pick one way, one of them's got to pick the other. Firpo can block him going down the line, which he kind of is. Nonto's got to stop him going between the 2 of them, and therefore his only option is to turn around and go backwards to this player, which is less dangerous for Leeds. Shouldn't be getting beaten like that. And then obviously the shot is blocked. Good defending by Leeds, but in the first instance. The defending needs to be better and the communicating needs to be a bit better between the two of them. Sometimes people talk about a player like Georginio as a luxury player, someone you can afford to have when you've got a solid foundation. And while that might be true in some circumstances, the fact that he can do things like this is also vital to a team at times. Rodon heads the ball away here, and this is Georginio taking the touch. Look how far he goes. Leeds don't have to, the rest of the team don't have to do anything in terms of passing up the pitch, in terms of trying to get out of their own half. Georginio runs the entire length of the pitch. Pass needs to be better here. It was a slightly heavy touch before that. But when you've got somebody who can do something like that, it's unbelievable to have in your team, and especially in a championship team. Playing against Valencia, who, yeah, while they might not have had amazing recent years, are a great La Liga side over the past, well, forever, really. You've always been decent. Georginio just ran the entire length of the pitch against them, and it's just unbelievable to see him do that. I think you can tell how kind of dirty and tough tackling that Valencia have been in this game, because Verba gets the ball here. He's just come on for Strauch. Plays the ball to Firpo. Really nice touch from him, letting it run across his body. They're number 11. That's like the third or fourth time he's done that. And he's got himself a red card in a pre-season friendly. That's no mean feat. It's difficult to get yourself a red card in a pre-season friendly unless you're flying in and doing stupid things like that. No need for it. I don't understand why some of their players took it upon themselves to try and hurt our players. Bogle had to go off injured for Byram. A lot of our players have had to be helped back up again after being almost thrown into the advertising hoardings and stuff. Just calm down. It's a pre-season friendly. I just don't get it. Leeds again stretching the play here through Ampadu's range of passing and somebody running in behind. This time it's Georginio, like he did against whoever it was last season, I can't remember, but the ball over the top, and he just can't quite get the shot away. But if you'd could have poked that to Brendan Aronson there, Brendan Aronson would have been in for a potential goal there. But again, you stretch the defence so much by knocking that ball over the top and having runners, willing runners in behind. Great touch from Georginio the first time. Where is Aronson? Just there. Can he try to poke that ball to Aronson? He gets tackled, but just a split second earlier, if he could try and just knock that ball with the outside of his foot into the path of Aronson, you potentially got a chance for 3-0 there. I'm sorry, but I've got to talk about this. Corridor of uncertainty. This is almost exactly what you mean by the corridor of uncertainty. Look, that ball in there, behind the defenders and in front of the goalkeeper, this guy nearly puts it in the back of his own net, and that is why, even though we've got no actual threat there, Aronson's not close in enough. He needs to be making a front post run. If Brendan Aronson, if Matteo Joseph was still on the pitch, he'd be making a run right into that front post, and you'd have somebody like Joel Peru maybe making a run to the back post, but he's been replaced by Bamford, who actually crosses this in. Aronson should be trying to make a front post run. Peru should be trying to make a back post run. Great ball. Just cut out by the defender, nearly puts it in the back of his own net, but that is the danger you put them in when you put the ball into that area, and Bamford does it really, really well there. Look, Leeds do concede in this game, and Daniel Farker will be really difficult. Will be really upset to have conceded and not keep a clean sheet. But one thing you have to take into account is Leeds have replaced their entire starting 11 other than Meslier, so the whole outfield has been replaced. There's a lot of youngsters on the pitch. There's a lot of players who haven't played for us for very long. This goal is, I think, a little bit unfortunate in the end as we watched it here. Their number 10 just takes the cross in here. Here we go. So the ball gets headed back out to the edge of the box and it's shot. It takes about 3 deflections and then just nestles slowly in that bottom corner. I'd like to see a replay of it again here, because I do think that it took a couple of deflections there and Meslier had no chance of really diving for it. If we ever show us a replay here. Hello? Show us a replay. There we go. So the ball came in here. That's the wrong angle, really, but shot. Still can't really tell. It did look like it took a deflection, though. You want a shot from... There you go. This will be the one. From behind. Yeah, maybe off Joffy's back or their number 30. But realistically, it's not a goal that you can do much about. Somebody maybe should have been closer, tighter to him on the edge of the box. That if we have a little bit of a look at it here. if that's Aronson, I think it is there. It's either Aronson or Rothwell. Maybe just be a little bit tighter. Check your shoulder a few more times as that ball comes in, and you might have more of a chance to. You might have more of a chance to go and stop that. So yeah, it's not the worst goal in the world to concede, but just be a little bit tighter on the edge of the box. And there's not much you can do in terms of the deflections. Well, that is that game over. What did I think of it overall? Well, I thought that Leeds again played really well, showed really promising signs of the team that they're going to be this season. High pressing early on in games, being able to go and get ahead in games and hold on to a lead, potentially leaking a few goals just in terms of because we'd be playing so high up and because we'd be such an attacking, forward-thinking team. But if you're outscoring your opposition, that's not the end of the world. I would like to tighten up a little bit at the back, but overall the play is better. The passing is sharper, quicker. We're making better decisions. We've got individual brilliance with players. We look really strong as a squad. Even when we replace the starting 11, like we've got good backups in nearly every position. So look, again, really good game from Leeds. Shame about how much Valencia went in for those tackles and stuff, and obviously in the end got one of them sent off. But I think overall, look, Leeds played well. Leeds won the game, and it really sets us up nicely for going into that first game of the season. I'll make a full pre-season thoughts video summarising all 3 games, and that'll be out on the channel in the next couple of days. So remember to hit that notification bell as well next to that big subscribe button for notifications every time I upload. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, though, and I'll see you in the next one.